Hi guys, Alex here. So in this video, I want to talk about Google Ads for locksmiths, what Google Ads are, how they work, do they even work, and how you can be leveraging the new Google Smart Ads to literally get nuclear results for your locksmith business. So what I'm firstly going to do is just open up a new browser, just in case you don't know what Google Ads are. So I'm going to type in plumber London, for example. I know that's not locksmith related, but this is just to give you an idea that this works for any business. But I'm just using plumbers as an example here. So if someone's to type in plumber London, you can see here that this says sponsored. Also here says sponsored. So what that means is that people are actually bidding on this keyword, this particular keyword, plumber London. People are paying money to show up at the top of Google for this particular keyword. And the way that works is like an auction. So let's say you've got two people competing for this keyword. So they're both paying for this particular keyword to appear at the top of Google. And it works like an auction. So whoever bids higher will appear at the top. But then what will happen, that will depend on the person's budget. So let's say they've got a budget of $50 per day or £50 per day. What will happen is eventually when people are clicking on this ad, eventually that will exhaust the budget. So let's say they're paying, just for argument's sake, $15 per click, okay? Because it could be quite competitive in London, so they're paying a high cost per click. So let's say they're paying $15 per click on average. After 3 clicks, their ad will no longer show because they've exhausted all their budget. That takes them up to $45, and they won't be able to appear again for this particular keyword. So it's like an auction. So then what might happen is the other person who was bidding on this keyword, then they will start showing at the top of Google. But there's so many other factors that go into it, which is based on how well they've optimized their ad. So if they've got all the right keywords in there, if they've got site links, like these little things you see here, these have got site links in, where these haven't. So these have got slightly more real estate on the homepage. Although you think these little links don't make a difference, they really do, because they might capture someone's eye. Local engineers. So people might see that, local engineers, and click on there. So it depends on so many factors why they're going to rank you. But if you pay for Google Ads, you are guaranteed a top spot on Google. So they're guaranteeing you clicks. So it's not like SEO, where you might have to spend months working on optimizing your website, and then eventually you might get to the top of Google. With Google Ads, you're paying to be at the very top, and you're guaranteed to get those clicks. So the quality of the customer, then that's where they're not going to guarantee. So you might have someone searching for plumbing. Let's say someone's got a leaking tap and they're searching for a washer, and they're just typing in where to buy plumbing supplies in London. And if your ad is not optimized correctly, if it doesn't have the correct keywords and everything, then what's going to happen is ad's going to show up, someone's going to click on that, and that's a wasted click because it's not the customer you want. Someone's just looking to purchase something from a supply shop, which is not that's not what you're bidding for. So it's really important to optimize these ads to get them performing properly, and that doesn't happen on day one. So what I'm going to do is jump over to the whiteboard now, and I'm just going to show you how it basically works. So let's say we've got the website here. So this is obviously, the website is key for this, or you can use one single landing page. But the most important part about the website, okay, so what you don't want to have is this. Sorry, get rid of that. So what you don't want to have is a bucket that when you tip water into this bucket, There's so many holes in this bucket that the water's just pissing out of it. Okay, that's what some websites are like. So what I mean by that is if you're sending these clicks to a website that's not going to convert, so let's say you've got your website here and it's got loads of text all about you, and then up here there's a tiny contact button, and then when they click on this contact button, it takes them to another page where they've then got to fill out a form, and the form's super clunky, difficult to read. See, this is what I'm talking about, the leaky bucket. You're going to be throwing money into this website through Google Ads, but because you've got a shitty website, what's going to happen is that those clicks, those customers that land into this bucket are just going to fall away. What's going to happen is people are going to land on the site and then they're going to instantly bounce because they can't see where to call you. They're in a rush, they're in an emergency, and for them to land on your website, click this tiny contact button at the top right hand corner, go through, fill in a form, hope that you might call them back. None of that is going to work. So what you really need for this to work, number one, before you even start thinking about running ads, is you need to have a highly optimized website. It doesn't have to be highly optimized, but what you do need is a CTA. And what I mean by CTA is call to action. So as soon as they land on the site, it needs to be clear that they've landed in the right place. So it should say, in the plumbing example, I don't know why I'm using the plumbing example, I should use the locksmith example, but it should say, you know, local locksmith, and then what it needs to have is a big button with your telephone number on there. Okay, so your telephone number on here. So number one, because if you've just got a button here that says call now or contact us, sorry, what people are instantly going to think is they need to click on that button, then they need to go to another page to fill out a form, which people can't be bothered to do that these days. People want instant results, instant, you know, they want you to they just want to get the job done fast. So an example of that is this website. So this is a good website, a good template to where like an idea of where you want to be sending people. So firstly, this is the call to action or the hook where, you know, need a reliable locksmith. Yes, I do. And then here it helps obviously if you've got your area that you cover as well. And as you can see, a nice bright button that they can click on a mobile. So it must be clickable on a mobile. Now I'm on a desktop, so if I click on that, it's not going to work, but at least people can see the number. Most people who are locked out of their house or their vehicle, they're usually on a mobile. Pretty much everyone these days is searching on a mobile. So you have to make this button clickable. Because if this button wasn't here and I just had this little, like I was saying, a little contact tab up here, people would have to click on that, then they'd have to fill in a form, and it's too long-winded. It's not going to work and you're wasting money. So what you need is this clear call to action. So that's the first step before you worry about running any Google ads. You need to have a website that's actually going to convert. And in this example as well, if someone did fill in this form, our Google ads would track it. So step 2 to running Google ads is you need to put a pixel on this website. So basically what the pixel is a piece of code which no one understands, piece of text. And this piece of text will go, it's just like a little code, will go in the back end of the website on all the buttons. So all the buttons would have this special code on. And then in the header of the website, in the back end, would also be a code as well. So what that allows you to do, because what you don't want to be doing is spending money on ads, right? Sending people to a website and you don't have a clue how many calls. So obviously the plan of this is to get phone calls off the back of it. Okay, that's supposed to be a phone. So you're supposed to be getting phone calls off the back of it. Now, if you've got your organic traffic going to this as well, so let's say people are just finding you online or word of mouth. So I'll just put WOM, word of mouth. And people are going to this website and you're getting calls. You're also spending money on ads and you're getting calls. You don't know which percentage of your ads is actually getting you the results. So you might be thinking these Google ads aren't working. I'm only getting the same 5 phone calls every day. So this isn't really working, because how can you track it? So what you need is these codes on all the buttons and on the back end of the website. So what that allows us to do, let me just clear these bits. So what that allows us to do is when someone actually lands on your website, in the Google Ads dashboard, it's going to count every single click to this page. So number one, it's going to track the clicks. So let's say on a Monday, it's going to say your Google ads generated 8 clicks. Okay. And then also it's going to track the calls as well, because it's going to know, okay, so the first action was the click to the website. The second action was them calling you. So what your Google Ads dashboard also needs to track the calls. Okay, so let's say out of those 8 clicks that you got on the Monday, 2 of those resulted in calls. And then it can also track the leads. So going back to this, if someone were to fill out this form, okay, the Google Ads would also track the leads. So I'm going to put leads here. Leads. And let's say on the Monday you generated 0 leads. People only called you. So let's say on Monday in your Google Ads dashboard, in your Google Ads settings, you had your budget of $50 per day, okay, that was going into this machine, okay, into this. So out of that $50, you generated 8 clicks. 2 of those were calls. And one of those calls, let's say one was an inquiry that just said, how much do you charge? You gave them the price and they said no. But one of those calls, so what we can then do is take this to one call, one job generated, okay? So out of those 8 clicks, 2 people called you and 1 person actually booked a job with you. And let's say that job was a lost car key job worth $350, okay, just for argument's sake. Or we could be more conservative and we could say that job was only worth $150 to you. So you put $50 on a Monday into this because you've set a daily budget of $50. Okay, so on the Monday, you spent $50, you got 8 clicks, 2 of those people called you, you got 0 leads, but 1 person actually booked a job with you, which was either a lost car key or let's say a lockout, just a vehicle opening. So best case scenario there is you made $300 profit. Okay, $300 profit. Worst case scenario, and you only done the lockout, you would have made the $100 profit. Okay, so you just spent $50 and you got $300 back, or you spent $50 and you got $100 back. Okay, but you're only spending $50 right here. So obviously what you would then do is run this campaign continuously, because it would be ridiculous to turn this off, because it's like a money machine. So you've got a fruit machine or slot machine, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and every time you put $50 in there, you're getting a minimum of $100 back out of it. Okay. Now this is on like the low end, right? Because let's say you got 8 clicks. Now the next part that you need to optimize for is your closing skills on the phone. So when people actually call you, you need to have the right script to say to them on the phone to close more jobs. Then you can increase this conversion rate. And let's say now you're getting 8 clicks for your $50, but now because you've mastered your closing skills on over the phones, when they call you, some tips are to don't emphasize on the price, emphasize on the time that you can be there. Explain that you're much cheaper than going back to the dealership if you're doing auto. And a trick that I like to use is I always tell them I'm in the area, because in the area is a pretty sort of grey area in itself. So let's say someone calls you, you can say I'm actually in that area right now, so I can be with you in 45 minutes. Whereas if someone says, oh, we'll be there in 45 minutes, that's less, they've got more confidence with the person who says they're already in the area. So this is just some little tricks you can use to improve your closing skills when people call you. So now let's say you've increased this, so you've increased the conversion rate on the phone, and now instead of converting 2 of those jobs, now you're converting instead of converting 1 of those jobs, you're now converting 2 of those jobs. So now you will be looking at $600 profit for $50, or $200 for 50 ad spend. So as you can see, this is where we start optimizing. So then you could start looking at improving this website. Okay, so you could think like, how can I get more people to click? So you can increase the size of the button. You could make an offer on the website. So you could say 10% off for the first, if you're like the first time customer, 10% off. This is a good trick because in locksmithing, most of your customers are first time people. Because thing about this trade is that when people lose a key or get locked out, they often don't do it again because it's an expensive mistake. So what you'll find is like 80 to 90% of your customers are first time customers. So that's a great trick to put on your website. So you could say like 10% or 20% off for first time customers. That's what you could put on this homepage. So on your homepage here, you could maybe even have a pop-up that appears on this website and says first time customers 10% off, because most of your customers are first time customers. So it looks like they're one of a kind. They makes them feel like they're getting a great deal. But what they don't know is that literally nearly everyone's a first time customer. So then that's how you can then start improving this conversion rate on your website. So you've improved your closing skills on the phone. You've improved this. So this is where you need to start looking at. If you're thinking of running Google Ads, firstly, you need to make sure that your website's actually going to convert, and make sure that you're tracking everything. Because if you're not tracking anything, you don't know what's working, and you might switch off a campaign. Let's say you're spending $50 a day and getting, what did we say here? $600 back from $50, and you don't know where these results are coming from, because you've also got organic traffic coming through here, and you just think, I'm going to switch this off because it's not working. That's why it's super important to be tracking every single click to this website. Every single call needs to be meticulously tracked. So that's where you should start with your optimization on the website before you run ads. Okay, so you've got to make sure that your website's going to convert. And then the great thing about this closing skill is that you're going to be getting tons of phone calls when you start running ads. You've got plenty of practice here for your closing skills. So now that moves, I'm kind of doing this backwards because it makes more sense, because like I said, you don't want to be running ads unless if this system's broken. If you've got that leaky bucket website and you're really crap on the phone, let's say people call you and you go, yeah, hello, and they're like, is this the locksmith? Yeah. I've just lost my key. Okay, where are you? I'm down in blah blah blah. Yeah, it's £350 or $350. That person's it's not a great way to speak to people. Whereas if you answer the phone with, hello, this is Speedy Locksmiths, how can I help you? So they know that they've landed in the right place. I've just lost my key. Rather than hitting them with the price, you could say, oh, whereabouts are you? I'm in so-and-so. Oh, not a problem. I'm actually just down the road from there, so I can be with you within the hour. So, and then they might say, how much is it? You can just say, look, it's $350, which is 50% cheaper than the dealership. If you go back to the dealership, they are going to have to tow your car in, but we can have you back on the road within the hour, and you'll give you a nice brand new key. Boom. That's how you improve your phone skills to get more jobs. Now, so this is what the machine you need before you start running ads, because if you've got the leaky bucket website that's people are bouncing off, you're spending money, people are bouncing off this website, and then if you're answering the phone in that in a really bad way, then again you're decreasing more conversions. So as you can see, this is just a machine that's not going to work. You're going to be spending money and pissing it up the wall, basically, to put it in the nicest terms. So now that moves us on to Google Ads. So what I wanted to talk about was Google Smart Ads. So these smart ads, so before, the way it would work, smart ads. So the way it would work before, the old version of Google Ads, is you would put an ad up just like the one I showed you here. So this plumbing example, as you can see, it says sponsored. So that's a Google ad. Okay. So the old way of doing it was to simply have one piece of copy. So what I mean by copy is literally this text. So you would have your sponsored ad. This is a sponsored ad, and you would have one piece of copy like that. Not going to write it out, but that's how it will work. So you'll be bidding on the keywords. People will click on this ad, go over to your website, and then make a call, or whatever they want to do, bounce off, fill in a form, make a call, whatever they do. But now with the new ads, what we like to use is we use Google Smart Ads. So what that is split testing, and we call it A/B split testing. So what we do is we actually run two lots of copy side by side. So we've got copy 1 here, copy 1, and then copy 2 here. And the way that works is, let's say the best way to describe it is 50% of the traffic goes to this ad, will show this ad, and 50% of the traffic will show this ad. Now these two ad copies are completely different. So one might say, it might have our offer in it. So one might say 10% off for first time users. This one might say, OAP discount, whatever. These are two completely different sort of copy, completely different offers. Not offers the wrong word, maybe just two different pieces of text. That's the best way to put it. And what's going to happen is one of these is going to perform better than the other. Now, the way that that's measured is click-through rate, so CTR. I know this is getting rather messy and confusing right now, but if you've been following along, it should make sense. So 50% of our traffic is going to show copy version number 1. and 50% is going to show copy version number 2. And what's going to work, the way that's going to work, so now we've got 100% of the traffic being divided between these two ad copies, and whichever one gets the highest click-through rate. Now the click-through rate means it's basically the amount of people who clicked on your ad divided by the amount of people that saw it. So let's say 100, well 100's too much. Let's say 10 people saw this ad and only one person clicked on it. That will be a 10% click-through rate. Okay. Let's say 10 people saw this ad, but 2 people clicked it. That would be a 20% opt-in rate. So now what would happen is, this is where the smart ads come in. So what would happen now is this one, obviously after some testing, it wouldn't just be decided immediately. It will probably run for a week to get enough data. So what would now happen is this one would be killed off. So this piece of copy would be killed off, and this one would continue to run, because the higher the click-through rate on the ad, the cheaper it is. So basically, let's say you've got a 10% click-through rate here, it was costing $20. Now you've got a 20% click-through rate here, it's only costing you $10. Okay, I know this is getting quite technical, but this is like how it works. So now you've got this piece of copy that's running, and now this is the winner. So this is why it's A/B split testing. This is the winner. This is now called the control. So everything from now on is trying to beat this this piece of copy. This is the winning piece of copy because it's got a higher click-through rate, cheaper cost per click. So CPC is cost per click. The cost per click's cheaper. So this is now the winner. So then what we'd do after the next week is we would introduce a new piece of copy into the campaign, which tries to beat this one. So it tries to beat the control. So now we kind of know, we can kind of take an educated guess on how to beat it just by the hooks and stuff. So we could create, say, another piece of copy that tries to beat this. We compare the two and we think, okay, this one got a much better click-through rate, a cheaper cost per call or cost per click. Why was that? So then what we'd do is we would, like I said, introduce a new piece of copy, and then again the traffic would be divided between those two pieces of copy, and the winner, let's say after we introduce the new piece of copy, it's getting a bit messy here, but we've just introduced a new piece of copy. Now this one wins because it's got a higher click-through rate, a lower cost per call. We'd kill that one off, and then the following week introduce a new piece of copy. Now this is all done kind of on autopilot when we set it up properly. Obviously it's a human going in and introducing the text, but the algorithm is deciding based on the results. So that's how we run our Google Ads. So I know that's might be really technical for some people, but you know, that's why a lot of people say, can I just go and run Google Ads myself? There's so much that goes into this. And now, like I said before, you've got the keywords. So we're bidding on specific keywords. If you're bidding on the wrong keywords, so let's say you're just bidding on the word locksmith, which might make sense to you. You might think, okay, what's a good keyword that I need to start bidding for? Locksmith. Now, someone might type in locksmith course or how to become a locksmith. Your ad's going to show up and it's completely irrelevant. Someone's going to click on it anyway because Google's served it up, so they believe must be for them. They're going to click on your ad. They're going to be taken to your website. There's nothing to do with a locksmith course. They're just going to bounce off. It's just cost you money. Okay, so this is why it's super important. Every aspect of this needs to be meticulously optimized to the nth degree. So most people who run Google Ads themselves don't that it doesn't work out for them. Number one, the most important thing is they've got the leaky bucket website. Number two, they might be answering the phone in the wrong way. Number three, they're not tracking anything, so they don't have that Google Pixel, the Pixel on the website. So they don't even know how many jobs they're actually generating through their efforts, through their ad budget. So it just becomes a complete nightmare. So what I want to do now, if I can see how to erase this. No idea how to do that. No idea. Just literally just Googled this whiteboard thing a minute ago. So that's how it works for Google Ads. So Google Smart Ads, this is kind of the new thing we've been doing. We've been getting some awesome results with this. Now, if you would like us to personally set up this machine for you where you can literally put money in and get more money out of it, okay, then obviously we charge a campaign management fee to do this. We don't do this all for free because you can see how much work goes into this. We charge a campaign management fee, okay, but when you've got a machine like this working, it's literally takes care of itself, so it's not an expense to you. It's like I said, going back to this money machine, you're putting money in and getting money back out. You're literally doubling your money or tripling your money every time you put money into this machine. And then what we find is eventually people are saying, okay, I'm spending $50 a day, Alex, and it's making me this X amount of profit. I want to increase the ad budget. So then they might go to $100 a day. And then what we find then, it literally doubles their profits. Now, obviously this caps out, but what you can then do is you can start expanding your area. And when we're getting these really optimized, you can really start nailing this in. And this is how you build a really successful, lucrative locksmith business without spending years doing SEO that might not even work out for you. Now, the best part about this, what I'm going to do is to see if I can refresh this and it will hopefully clear. So the best part about running Google Ads, nope, it's not going to clear. Let me just open it up again. Just bear with me. So the best part about running these Google Ads is that you can, let me see if my work is still going to be there, probably. Yeah, still there. Never mind. So what I was going to say is the best part about this, running these ads, is that you can actually schedule this exactly how you want it. So let's say you only want to work from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. You can schedule so that the ads only appear at exactly those times. You can also schedule it for what specific days you want it to run. So if you're off on a Sunday, what you don't want is to be spending money on ads to start, getting these clicks, getting these calls, and you're not even going to answer the phone, or it's just a waste of money. So we can schedule it for the exact times and the exact days that you want. We can also target the exact radius, so you won't be getting calls miles away from home. We can put a very specific radius, let's say 20 miles within your where you serve, and then that way you'll only be spending money for places that you're actually willing to go to. And then lastly, we can actually optimize to get these ads showing for just the specific jobs you want. So if you don't like, let's say you're a residential locksmith, you don't particularly like fitting locks from scratch, you prefer just emergency call outs, you can target just those specific call outs. Let's say you're an automotive locksmith, you only want to be doing the lucrative car key replacements, we can just try to target just for them. Now we don't nail this every time because people might type that in, but that's not really what they want. because it's the customers typing in. They might type in car key replacement, but really they just need a spare. So you can see, but we can try and get close as possible to the exact jobs you want, so that you're not doing all the jobs that you don't like. So that's how it all works. Now, if you do want help, if you'd like for us to install this beast of a machine into your business, firstly, what you would need is obviously to have a website that's going to convert. Now, we do have an option where you can use our software. So you can use this exact template. This is like a 60-page website. We can just install this for you, no problem at all. We can put all your logo, your company details on here. It takes 5 minutes, and we know that this converts because it's fast loading, and it just flat out works. So we can use our software, or if you've got your own website, it will still work. All we'll need to do is have access to your website so that we can install that Google Pixel. I keep saying Google Pixel, it's just a pixel. But to install this pixel onto your website, we would need access to your website. So if you don't have access to your website, or you don't have a website, you can use our software to do this. And then what we'll do, the things you'll need to get started is you'll need your own Google Ads account. So if you've got a Google Ads account, we don't touch any of the money in there. So you'll just connect your credit card. You'll tell us how much you want to spend. We get access to your Google Ads manager, your Google Ads account, by you basically give us a code which allows us access, but we don't have access to your bank details, anything like that. All the advertising spend is completely on your side. You just tell us what the daily budget is. Now, you can start off with a daily budget as little as $20. So you could start, we don't recommend any lower than $20. So you could start with a daily budget of $20. And then what we find is after the first month, people usually double that budget when they can see that it's all highly profitable. Now, the great thing about this, if you do decide to go with us, by the way, there's a link in the description that will allow you to book a call with us and see if your business is a good fit. So the things that you'll need is a Google Ads account. You'll need a website that's going to convert. If you don't have that, either make the changes yourself, or you can use our software for a fee. And then obviously, like I said, any of the ad spend is all on your side. You just connect your debit or credit card to your Google Ads account. We never see the credit card. We never touch the money there. It's all on your side. You'll just give us access to your Google Ads account where it allows us to run ads, but it doesn't allow us to see your bank details, anything like that. And then there's our management fee. So like I said, if you want us to install this beast into your business, there's a link in the description. Check it out, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon.